Hello, Winterfest students. In thinking about my favorite spiritual discipline, I chose listening, deeply listening to my own thoughts and to God. And I didn't choose this as my favorite spiritual discipline because I'm good at it. In fact, I'm not very good at this one. However, when you think of the word discipline, that implies that it is something you have to work at, that you have to try to cultivate. In fact, anything that comes easy to you or effortlessly to you, you really don't need discipline to do. You just do it. So I chose listening as my favorite spiritual discipline because one, I'm not very good at, and two, because I recognize how important it is for me to actually cultivate this, that there's an enormous benefit and value to me figuring out a way to make this work in my life. So why is it so hard for me to deeply listen to God? And one, I just think I'm too busy. I think in the American culture, the concept or the idea of working hard and always being productive and always doing something has an enormous value, and there's a lot of benefits to that. Let's face it, we get a lot done in this country, but there's a cost to that, and sometimes the cost to that is that we feel guilty. We feel guilty if we take the time to contemplate, to meditate, in other words, to do nothing. We see it as doing nothing, to not being productive all the time, and I think when that's the case, oftentimes busyness can become a cult or an idol because it gets in the way of our relationship to God. When you look at Jesus took time to go out into the wilderness, to leave the crowds, to be alone with his thoughts or to be alone with his disciples, to take the time for himself to contemplate and talk to God. And I think if I'm truly going to be a disciple of Jesus, I need to follow his example and take the time. Now, I don't always have time to leave my home and go out in the wilderness. That's impossible for me. But I can take the time. I can take the energy to carve time out of my day to be alone with God, be alone with my thoughts, and to hear his prompts and to hear what he says back to me. And if that's the case, prayer isn't a one-way conversation where I'm just doing the talking to God. Then I'm taking the time to actually listen and hear what he has to say. I love that line, "Be still and know that I am God." Be still and know. It's almost like God knows. Be still. Calm down. Slow down, Donna. And listen to what I have to say. And that's something I hunger and thirst for. So I would have to say that's my favorite spiritual discipline. Not because I'm good at it, because I'm not, but because I hunger and thirst for it. I want that because I know I will grow and be a true disciple of Christ.